Good day, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. This is our third video of this course. I hope you're enjoying them so far. Today, we will be covering the cyber threat intelligence related concepts and definitions, and especially what are those different units that, depending on the cybersecurity strategy, how the cyber threat intelligence will interact with it. So, let's dig in. First thing, how does cyber threat intelligence approaches an organization, and how can this adapt the new techniques and information collection for the better? The first thing to understand, and one of the most important to be fair, is that cyber threat intelligence cannot be treated as a cooking recipe or a one size fits all kind of thing. That's why a cyber threat intelligence implementation may not work the same way in every organization. And doing a sort of copy paste from another place will most of the time be counterproductive because the resources and especially the security strategy are different in every organization. That's why this course is going to focus on the relationships within these units and the core cyber threat intelligence. So you can go ahead and build the exact needed cyber threat intelligence unit for your organization. So let's review some of them. One of the most important units that interacts with the cyber threat intelligence unit is the Security Operations Center. This unit is in charge of constantly monitoring all the network and security devices, applications, services, and whatever you may think that needs monitoring. Yes, you can include the fridge and the coffee maker if they are able to, and if your security strategy demands it. Okay, but more seriously, McAfee defines a SOC as a centralized function within an organization employing people, processes, and technology to continuously monitor and improve an organization's security posture while preventing, detecting, analyzing, and responding to cybersecurity incidents. Think of it as a health checker for all your important assets in your organization. Every design asset will be sending its status every given time, and it will be stored in a large database where people and technology are constantly watching and correlating events in order to confirm that everything is working right or if there is something odd going on. So, yeah, maybe monitoring was not the only task developed by the SOC unit, but because of all of those tasks, the Cyber Threat Intelligence Unit comes to provide a big collection of information with meaning. Let's not forget that. In order for it to be more efficient, effective, and provide a quicker response to threats around an organization. Alongside the SOC unit is the incident response team. The role of this unit is sort of given out, but if someone or some tool sees something odd and dangerous going on, a group of professionals should be addressing that event, and that group is called the incident response team. And okay, the IR team is definitely key to mitigate some risks and respond to events as they happen or are detected by our SOC unit. But what if SOC detects a threat that we don't know about? A threat that has not been seen before by our systems? Then what should we do? Well, cyber threat intelligence is there to make that situation the least likely to happen. For example, if my neighbor's house is broken into, I will definitely would like to know that because the probability that my house is at risk as well just skyrocket. That's when cyber threat intelligence makes it work by collecting these other neighbors' cases and planning what they should do if it would be happening to its organization. Then we have the vulnerability management. This is not much of an actual unit, but a process in which the organization identifies, measures, and does something about the vulnerabilities discovered. But let's go to the concepts. A vulnerability is defined in the ISO 27002 as a weakness of an asset or group of assets that can be exploited by one or more threats. So basically, it's telling us that it is some weakness that could be taken advantage of to cause some harm to the organization. But what does manage vulnerability includes? Well, Tom Palmer wrote a paper for the SANS Institute where he defined vulnerability management as the process in which vulnerability in IT are identified and the risk of this vulnerability are evaluated. So, what this process means is that organizations must know where their weak spots are and what are they going to do about it. It is not a way to have no vulnerabilities, but to measure which ones will have high impact on the organization and which ones the organization could control if somehow it was exploited by a threat. In order to do this in a structured manner, the InfoSec Institute has defined 6 processes that have to be performed to complete a cycle in the vulnerability management lifecycle. First, we start with scanning. In order to do something about the vulnerabilities in our systems, we must first discover all the vulnerabilities in our organizations and then start doing something about it. This vulnerability scanning phase can be performed with multiple scanners, and it depends on the organization's security strategy on choosing which one will be used. The next step is to prioritize. The amount of vulnerabilities found in an organization's system will be really high when doing this for the first time. So, one of the most important steps to do is to prioritize according to the criticality of the systems and the risk of each vulnerability found. So, we can decide which ones must be mitigated first. Following the prioritization, it's time to assess the impact that the exploitation of such vulnerabilities could cause to the system and the organization in general. Once the prioritization and assessment has been done, all this information will be detailed in a report that should contain the systems affected, the impact of the vulnerability in such systems, and the remediation suggested to correct such vulnerabilities. With this information, the IT department can proceed to apply those fixes in given maintenance window in order to avoid disruption of services. Once the patches, configurations, and fixes are in place, a verification process should start, which not only will review that the mitigation were in fact applied, but to verify that the systems and services affected are operating in a normal manner. And then we close the cycle by scanning again. Different vulnerabilities will arise, and the whole process should start again. This cycle is recommended to be consistent and periodically executed according to the organization's resources and capabilities. But wait a second, we're not completely done with the vulnerability subject. There are these things called zero-day vulnerabilities. That paints a whole other picture for organization and vulnerability management life cycles. Trend Micro defines a zero-day vulnerability as a vulnerability in a system or device that has been disclosed but is not yet patched. Okay, a weakness without a way to solve it. That makes you think. If there's no patch yet, it means it's not as spread as much other vulnerabilities. So the likelihood for it to land in your perimeter is fairly low. But the chance being low doesn't mean it is zero. So the problem cannot just be ignored, and thinking it would happen to your organization wouldn't stop a phishing campaign or an opportunistic hacker from using it against you. Luckily, cyber threat intelligence has the perfect strategy to solve it. Since it focuses on getting information from all around the globe, things like how threats look and low-level espionage are actually being taken care of to provide all organizational units the information they need to ensure a greater security posture. And that will take us to the whole risk world. The RSA, in its publication, defines cyber risk as the potential of loss or harm related to technical infrastructure or the use of technology within an organization. Risk is calculated taking all those threats, vulnerability, patches, security updates, firewalls, antivirus, and any other thing that will influence negatively or positively a possible compromise. The whole subject is another curse. You can probably find it here in Cybrary as well. But our main concern is how the cyber threat intelligence will directly influence this risk result. How can, can CTI actually influence the risk posture of an organization? Could the mere existence of CTI lower its risk? By getting information about where the attacks are coming, how do they look, who is creating them, what is the vulnerability door, when it's supposed to hit the region or industry of the organization, all of that information greatly increases your chances and capabilities of defend yourself, and with that lower the chance of being compromised, and at the same time decreasing your overall risk. So the answer is yes, cyber threat intelligence can do that too. Okay, we have some good understanding about some additional concepts now, but the most interesting part is coming. How this SOC benefits from CTI besides of what we have discussed. Where in the incident response is cyber threat intelligence introduced? How about the risk analysis and vulnerability management? We reviewed the vulnerability management life cycle, but we didn't mention cyber threat intelligence in it. And how about zero-day vulnerabilities? Well, all those questions can be inferred with the topics covered in this video, but we will get into great detail in the upcoming videos. Now you may wonder, CTI is everywhere, right? Well, in every area, we were able to identify the role of CTI in order to improve a security posture, and how can the unit benefit from having it in its processes and procedures. We know that data is everywhere. Information can help every organizational unit. Intelligence can drive the right questions to the right answers and bring our security game to a whole other level. Every single process in an organization can be beneficiated from cyber threat intelligence with the right implementation and with the right organization nature. This is a subject that we will be diving with much more detail in the videos ahead. And talking about future videos, now that we know some of the different ways cyber threat intelligence may interact with different units, let's dive into intelligence driven security. A whole new approach to cybersecurity where the more you know, the more you are capable to learn how to defend yourself and aim your defenses the most efficient way possible. And that's the end of another video. I hope you have enjoyed this time with me, and remember, if you have any additional questions, you can contact me for further details. See you next time.